I'm Lex Levy, and this is Ancient Odysseys. Welcome to episode 35. We had two objectives for our Giza expedition on the 20th of February 2024, which were 1. To locate and investigate the lost causeway to the Great Pyramid, which we documented in episode 33, and 2. To locate and investigate the legendary access to the Giza Underworld, the Tomb of the Birds, also known as NC2, the entrance to an extensive cave system below the Giza Plateau. I will now show you the route of our expedition using Google Earth. Let's explore Forbidden Giza. In episode 33, we explored the lost causeway to the Great Pyramid of Giza. Stay tuned for my episode on our follow-up investigation. Our expedition to the Tomb of the Birds began on the western side of the Great Pyramid. We traveled through the labyrinth of mastabas and dynastic tombs towards the newly constructed Khufu's restaurant that is built directly over NC2, the Tomb of the Birds. And you can see its entrance here. We had no idea if it would still be sealed shut as last reported on the 4th of April 2010. There are actually 3 accesses on the northern cliff: NC1, NC2, and NC3. We took this back way to avoid drawing any unnecessary attention. I will now show you uncut footage of our adventure and what we found.
We're on the western face of the Great Pyramid.
The Tomb of the Birds was first discovered in 1817 by explorers Henry Salt and Giovanni Battista Caviglia. In their memoirs, they describe an extraordinary cave complex existing beneath the pyramids themselves. Inside the caves, Salt and Caviglia had journeyed for an estimated distance of several hundred yards, crawling on their hands and knees in some areas, before eventually coming across a spacious chamber that connected with 3 others of equal size, from which went various labyrinthine tunnels. Yet, because the 2 men were unable to locate anything of value, no gold or treasure, Salt had given up on the search, leaving his Italian colleague to continue on his own. Caviglia took one of these new cave tunnels for a distance of 300 feet further before giving up himself. The next people to have possibly come in contact with these caves after Salt and Caviglia was the British explorer Colonel Howard Vyse and his colleague, the engineer John Shea Perring, in 1837. They found a tomb containing caves during their routine explorations of the plateau. Vyse records how, during their excavations there, his team carefully removed from its interior a mummified bird of great size. Nothing more is known of what Vyse and Perring found here, although a detailed plan of the plateau prepared by Perring shows the tomb's deeply cut facade in the rocky north cliff, with dotted lines indicating its interior compartments, next to which is a legend, quote unquote, excavated tombs and pits of bird mummies. Whether or not Vyse and Paring explored the cave system is debatable. After this time, no one is known to have visited the rock-cut tomb until American Egyptologist George Reisner came here with his team in 1939 and gave it the name of NC2, with two smaller tombs also found in the North Cliff, becoming NC1 and NC3. NC2 was never before explored in modern times until the great British author and explorer Andrew Collins rediscovered it in March of 2008. Andrew located a previously unknown opening into a natural cave system, long thought to exist. To find these caves, Andrew followed clues left in the 200-year-old memoirs of Henry Salt, which were published for the first time in 2007.
Look at all this pottery. Decorative lentil.
The birds that were found in NC2 were raptors, such as hawks and falcons. Therefore, the cult here may have been that of Sokar, the guardian of the Duat of Memphis, or Raztau, the ancient name for Giza, which one translation is, quote-unquote, the mouth of the passages. The Tomb of the Birds was seen as an entrance into a cave underworld.
There's pottery everywhere. Visitor Center, approaching the Tomb of the Birds.
Here, I am looking through the gate that seals NC1. It appears that there is a shaft on the left-hand side.
To the left. Let's go.
This is the known layout of the Tomb of the Birds and the Cave of the Snake, as described by Andrew Collins. This will help orient you. You can see the point that Andrew Collins and his wife Sue reached on their expedition on the 7th of March 2008, and upon a secondary expedition on the 11th and 13th of April 2008, they reached this point here, where they found a tube leading to a deeper part of the caves. It is believed that this cave system reaches the central pyramid. We are now standing in the double-lobed reception chamber, and you can see the twin pillars carved from bedrock.
Hey, man. Oh, this is so cool.
So, there are some underground structures.
These letterbox-like niches in the east wall of the east lobe of the structure's T-shaped anteroom may have been to deposit bird mummies, as well as small mummified animals. I believe the name the Tomb of the Birds may have been given to this area because of birds that have passed due to the noxious fumes emanating from the cave system. Have you ever heard of canary in the coal mine?
This is it right here. And you can see that this area, the opening, was once covered up. Looks like something interesting may have been housed here. These ridges. Some interesting configuration for this housing back here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the entrance into the subterranean underworld below the Giza Plateau, known as the Tomb of the Birds.
Oh my gosh.
These caves support a fragile ecosystem of bats, snakes, rodents, and poisonous arachnids.
This is incredible.
And I will say, it stinks in here. Because this is a bat cave. But I can tell you, the smell in here has absolutely nothing, no similarity whatsoever to the smell of ammonia inside of the Red Pyramid. It smells like what you would expect a rodent to smell like in here. But inside of the Red Pyramid, it is pure chemical ammonia. And back there, ladies and gentlemen, these are the entrances into the tunnels. Look at that red iron oxide material. And it looks like those stones were put over there to block that entrance. In the interest of safety, and we're not crawling through any tunnels back here because I've already showed documentation of what's back there, and we certainly don't have the gear for that. But this cave system does exist.
Here, should we get our headlights?
Trying to be extremely careful. Holy shit. Look at that. It exists, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like possibly leading in the other direction as well. All right. So I will say that we've been quite fortunate on today's expedition. Look at all that iron oxide. Holy shit. Underground mining tunnels below the Giza Plateau. It's one of those things that it just seems like some sort of fantasy. You know, you hear all this mythology about underground tunnels and secret structures hidden below the Giza Plateau. Well, it is real. Well, look at this too. There's a channel here leading into this kind of a channel flowing through here. That's crazy. I'll just get one more shot back here. Okay. So, exclusive documentation. And this is probably going to be its own episode because I don't want this to get lost in the...
My husband, Jeffrey Drum, has an excellent episode on the Tomb of the Birds. His YouTube channel is @TheLandOfChem. Be sure to watch Sunday Site Visit 50 and please subscribe if you haven't already. I will now show you some of his footage where he was able to illuminate parts of the cave system that I was not able to see. If you want to help support our adventures, please like, share, subscribe, and pick up some badass Ancient Odysseys merch. The link is in the video description below. Also, please subscribe to our 2 new channels, Egyptian Trash Cats, where we document our saga in caring for the street cats of Egypt, and Egypt Eats, for all of our crazy culinary adventures. Thank you all very much. We were so lucky that the gate was open. We are now entering the threshold of the facade of the northern cliff and entering NC2, the Tomb of the Birds. To my left are the letterbox-like niches, and before me, twin pillars made of bedrock. On the left and on the right are chambers that we did not have an opportunity to explore. Moving between the pillars, we see bilateral alcoves. To the left is a side chamber. You can see bats flying. All carved from bedrock. We're now climbing the raised platform, and you can see these strange channels. The entrance to the cave system was at one time completely bricked off. Someone made a breach. What was once housed here? It's an extremely strange configuration. Here we go. We are entering into the Giza Underworld. It really exists. You can see the floor is caked with guano. As Jeffrey explored with a flashlight, I was left in the dark, and I felt something crawling on me. This cave system is known to be a home for poisonous spiders. You can see all the debris flying in the air. And that reddish color is iron oxide, a thick vein. All right, Jeffrey's climbing down to have a closer look. To the right are the long, unhewed chambers. And there it is. The entrance to the cave system. And you can see it is a home for bats. It's a huge vein of iron oxide. Just how far does it go? Pretty incredible, right? You can see the chisel marks and the strange conduit system or what appears to be a conduit system. Leading into the cave. He's having one final look. I'd love to go even further. The previous explorers were extraordinarily brave. Jeffrey's having a closer look at this conduit system on the raised platform within the cave. He's pointing to the iron oxide. You can see the chisel marks. This was man-made. Looks like it flows down into the pit of the cave. What an enigma.
Babe, what about this one? We are now on the northern face of the central pyramid, and we're going to round the corner to the western side and take a look at the stone quarry. It's currently closed and they're doing some construction here. We're here at the northwestern corner of the central pyramid. We're taking a look at the quarry. Some more granite. These quote-unquote rock-cut tombs have been closed off. So all this bedrock that's been excavated has been utilized in the core of the central pyramid. You can see the apex of Menkaure to the south. If I remember correctly, these hieroglyphs have been attributed to Ramses II. What do they really mean? Babe, take a look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a tunnel that goes far down into the bedrock. Take a look.
So
Some of the in situ or granite casings.
I want to share with you a new hobby I have, which is to overlay geometry on the Giza Plateau and other ancient sites. Here, I've connected NC2 to the apex of the central pyramid. I will now duplicate the length of this connection. And here, I believe, found the location of the lost Valley Temple to the third pyramid on the Giza Plateau, attributed to Menkaure. Still unexcavated, remaining underneath the sand. I've made a ray that extends through the apex of the Great Pyramid. I will now form a 90-degree triangle. What might be found in this location? In front of the eastern temple of the Great Pyramid. I'm still learning this program, and there is much to be discovered. Stay tuned. If you want to help support our adventures, Please like, share, subscribe, and pick up some badass Ancient Odysseys merch. The link is in the video description below. Also, please subscribe to our 2 new channels, Egyptian Trash Cats, where we document our saga in caring for the street cats of Egypt, and Egypt Eats, for all of our crazy culinary adventures. Thank you all very much.